A warm welcome and a heartfelt namaste. I, Anuradha Sharda, would like to thank all of you for watching my videos, for liking them, for writing in your comments and your suggestions. Today, we are going to continue on our series of how to judge a house, but we'll take a different tangent today. We will be working on judging a house through signs, and we will be working on judging the chart with respect to planets and signs in totality. So uh, let us expand more on signs. Every sign has a specific quality, a symbol, animal, and many other things attached to it. With when we diagnose, when we analyze all these elements, be it the element, be it cardinal, fixed, or mutable, or be the symbol that it is, be the animal associated with it, there are lots of things that we are able to glance, able to understand. And which house it pertains to in your chart would give you the habits as relating to that house. It would also be able to make you understand as to what is your core fundamental values, what is your composition to that house, or in fact it could talk about the relative associated with that house. For example, for the Gemini Lagna, the fourth house is Virgo. So the person's mother could have a lot of Virgo's traits. That is, she could be frugal, she could be hardworking, she could be critical. And when we see all these things, when we ask a person, I'm sure that in my experience, it has always come to be the truth. But in your experience also, when you do that, you will realize that it would be great. It would also reflect in the same manner. So let us move ahead and check out a chart. Take the example on how to judge the houses in natal chart through signs. So the first chart, and we are using the same charts that we had used in the last time. In these charts, what we are going to do is, now, last time we had used the house and the planet, and this time we are using the sign and the planet, and then saying that this is the first house, so this would reflect on the person. This would reflect second house, it would reflect on the person's wealth and education. Let us begin with the first house as Virgo. Virgo relates to a person's, Virgo is all about the person being very straightforward, very hardworking, quiet, working silently. The person, it's got a lot to do with discerning facts, segregation of things. So this person would have the ability to sieve through things, and would also have the ability to know how to utilize anything to the best of its ability so that nothing goes waste. In fact, would be knowing how to make the best out of the waste. Then we also see that Virgo is all about health consciousness. It is also about health issues. So at one point, Virgo can give you health issues. At the other end, it can also make you health conscious or very much interested in healing yourself or others. When we see Saturn, the planet of hard work itself, sitting on the Lagna, we know that the person has these qualities in abundant. The person would be very hardworking. The person would have a long-sighted foresightedness, because it reflects with both the planet and the sign. The person would be very frugal in his or her approach to things, and would not tolerate wastes of any kind, because Saturn again gives contraction. So these are the inherent qualities of a person. Now, Saturn is also old age, and it is also about health issues. So the person can have health issues regarding veins, or can have some vata issues, that it can have some airy disorders of health. The person can also have a strong liking or for healing, because the sixth house of the natural zodiac, that's Virgo, also relates to service to others through healing. Now we move on to the second house. The second house relates to Libra. Now, when we are talking about Libra, there are few things we need to understand. We always say balance, but balance about what? any planet which is sitting here, when we check the houses it relates to, and in which house Libra falls, we will see that the person has balance about those things. But Libra is a house of your personal and professional life, so it could also show balance on all those factors also. Apart from that, the Libra takes you on the outer world. It gives you a platform to see the world. But one very strong fact about Librans is they do not like to divulge in personal information or about financial information. They do not like people asking them these kind of personal questions. Also, Librans are certain people who do not take a call, and most of us say that they are not able to take a call on issues. It's not that they cannot take a call. It's that because they can see both sides of issues very strongly with both its pros and cons. So at certain intervals in life, they become indecisive as to which side to take on. This also gives them a great ability to be lawyers for any ends. So they can fight for the pro and they can also fight for the cons. Now, when we see the Libran approach here, we have to see that Mercury, the financial planet, is sitting here, and it is also about studies, and it relates to the self, and it relates to the 10th house of career. So this person would have uh, an ability to weigh all kind of financial situations related to her career, and she would also know how to balance her professional and personal life, because second house is family. It's also about education, and it is also about money. So this person could also be investing or balancing her investments in a number of areas such that she gains out of them and makes no loss. Now, when we come to Scorpio, Scorpio is all about secretive. It is also about a lot of self control. It is also about being pushy, or it is also about being domineering. Scorpio is all about waiting patiently to strike at the right time. Scorpio is all about passion, and it is also about renunciation. There is a chance of resurrection. So there is, with sun sitting there, it teaches. Sun is again the Lord, the Atma. So the person could have had repeated experiences in life where she's had to let go of things, and she's come out stronger with those problems of out of she's come out stronger from those problems. There's also the Scorpio here being letting go, and it's in the third house where the Lord of the 12th house, Sun, is sitting. So it could be a possibility that she would have to let go of homes quite often, because the third house shows changing of homes, and she could be moving on to a bigger and a larger one all the time that she's changing, because sun represents large and big. And in the third house, we know it reflects about your courage. It also reflects about your speech. But falling in the sign of Scorpio, she would know, she would have a tight control over her speech. She would know how much is too much, or what are the boundaries, and she would be very domineering when she's talking about them, because the sign and the planet both show dominance or domineering. When we come on to the fourth house for her, the fourth house is Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a sign of discovery. It is the sign of truth. It is the sign of knowing, understanding, and discovering new horizons, knowing about different cultures, different higher educations. And Venus is again a planet of knowledge. It is again a Dev Guru, and it is the second and the ninth lord of higher knowledge. It is again the second lord of money. So there is a probability that she could be staying at home. The fourth house is also home, and would be understanding, studying a lot, moving deeply into higher knowledge, understanding the underlying truth of the facts, and could be discerning or could be working towards uh, getting security from such knowledge, because the fourth house relates to security, and Venus relates to Sanjeevani Vidya, unique forms of knowledge. The ninth house, which is lorded by Venus, also relates to a higher knowledge of greater expansion. So there she could be studying things in a manner right from the fundamentals to understand the kernel of truth in every subject. And when we move on to the sixth house, because the fifth house is again Capricorn, which shows the house of her children. The fifth lord has gone into the Lagna, so her children could be reflecting values very similar to her own, apart from the fact that they could be very practical, very independent, and could be very focused in what they want to achieve and where they want to go in life, because that is what Capricorn suggests and Capricorn has to say. When we are talking about Ketu in the house of Aquarius, in the sign of Aquarius, in the sixth house, Aquarius is all about humanitarianism. Aquarius is all about independence. Aquarius is creative, it is detached, it is aloof. So we can, and the sixth house that we know is the house of Prarabdha. It is also the house of breaking of the Prarabdha and then moving ahead. So there could be a sense of acceptance in her that it is all right, I accept this, but then I need to move forward. I would break through these barriers, live them out, and then go ahead with my work. And so she could be, and this is also about new, this is about, again, the sixth house is about health and healing, and she could be working on newer methods of healing and health. Sixth house is also about segregation. Ketu here gives her a very piercing glance to understand, cut through what is not required, because Ketu always cuts. Cut through what is not required, what is old, what is obsolete, what is complete and not, and just over and done with, and move ahead with what is new. So once she's over and done with something, she is at ease and has the ability to move out, not emotionally very attached to that any longer. And as we move on to the seventh house for her, the seventh house for her is that of sign of Pisces. Pisces is a sign which shows that people inwardly may be suffering from certain inferiority complexes, may be in need of a lot of love and affection, and will have the habit of sacrificing, of letting go. So seventh house for her is the house of spouse. Again, moon is the ruler of 11th house, which also denotes spouse and child, and so her spouse could be reflecting these principles. Also, spouse could be a little moody, because both the sign, which is Pisces, is a water sign, shows little moodiness, and moon is again a changeable sign, a changeable planet, open to mood swings, is the mind and the emotions. So she could be having a very emotional spouse. In all, we see how we are able to judge with or without a planet of all that is happening in a life with just the signs as the basis. Finally, we come to the 12th house. The 12th house is the house of letting go, and it's falling in the sign of Leo. Leo is the biggest of all. So Leons know how to let go of things in a very classy manner, and they also know what is profitable for them and what is not. So the three planets of Jupiter, Mars, and Rahu sitting there, of which is Jupiter is donation, which says that let go, give as much as you can, and Mars is magnanimity at a level where it is, because it is sitting in a friendly sign, and Rahu will magnify the effects of both these planets. So she would have the ability to let go in a very classy manner, and would be doing things with a roar. That is, if she is giving in a charity, she or she is walking out of situation, she would not do it without any fight, or without letting the people know that it is on her terms and conditions that she let goes of things. We can again take up the chart of Dr. B.V. Raman. In Dr. Uh, B.V. Raman's chart, we see that that the Lagna here in his chart is Aquarian. The very beautiful thing that all of us understand is the Aquarius shows secret nature, secret knowledge. It also shows inventiveness. It shows, as I have said earlier, letting go of the old and forming the new ones, identifying with groups, identifying with associating with big bodies. And Dr. BV Raman's character has been exactly that, wherein he has been the one to build one of the biggest astrological bodies in India, that is in Indian Council of Astrological Sciences. And um, we also see that he's the one who broke the old mold, got the Indian astrology on the horizon, moved it to the West, and gave name and fame to Indian astrology, and which was no longer restricted just to a particular group of people. So we see it so beautifully working. And again, when we were talking about his mm, you know Jupiter, which is the planet of value, sitting in the 10th house, and as I have already said, mentioned before in a video, planet of value is a video that I have made, and it's a beautiful one because it makes you understand where you can get a lot of gains from in life. So the Jupiter here talks about his planet of value being where he could get money, where he could get affluence. And Jupiter itself is a planet of affluence, sitting in the 10th house. It was his work. His work, as per Scorpio sign, is very secretive, very quiet, is very controlled, and he has total dominance over his area of work. So, this is how we can analyze through signs. We can work our way through with the science and get good results, absolutely astounding results. If you've liked this video, do subscribe to the channel, do share the videos with others, and please do write in your comments and your suggestions. Till we meet with you again, stay happy and be safe. Thank you.